Hey guys, welcome back to Selenium with Java April 2023 batch online training session 9. In today's sessions, I will cover the remaining key important part from the TestNG. In the last session or session 8, you already learned about what is TestNG all about, how you can install TestNG in your Eclipse. After that, right, you can create a normal Java project and you can create a TestNG class. So whenever you are just creating a TestNG class, there is no need of the public static void main method. Instead of that, @test annotation will be considered as test cases. Then you can write enable disable the test cases, you can add some assertion, you can prioritize the test cases, right? In case you need to execute the same test case again and again and again, you can also do it. After that, in case you are having multiple classes from the multiple packages, so it is not possible to execute, right? Because in case you are trying to execute a TestNG class, you will be getting the option called TestNG test. But you can convert the project Java project to TestNG project. After that, testng.xml file will be created, and with the help of the file, right, you can associate multiple classes under the classes tag in the testng.xml file, and then you can add all the class into the classes tag. With class name will be package name dot the class name. Then in the testng.xml file, you will be getting an option called, right, TestNG suite to run it, right? So that you can run all the suite, right, from the multiple package, multiple classes at the same time. That is the way, right? You can also generate some sort of report which is already TestNG is having the features. And today we will learn how to include and exclude group during execution in TestNG, how to execute only failed test case instead of running all the test cases again and again without listener and with listener. Then how we can do the parameterized testing and how we can do the data driven testing. What is the importance of listener class in TestNG? How you can execute failed test cases with the help of IRetryAnalyzer listener, and how we can do parallel test execution in Selenium WebDriver with the help of TestNG XML file. So I'll go to the Eclipse before. Okay, let's give the high level overview of the groups. So whenever I was covering the features of TestNG, I already covered what is group all about. So group, suppose say in case you are having 100 test cases, right, test cases. So what you will be doing, you will be segregating those test cases into different, right, testing type, testing phases based on the application. So 5 test cases you can make it smooth, 5 test cases you can go create is like functional, 20 test cases integration, 30 test cases end to end, couple of test remaining test cases and UAT. And sometimes a few of the test cases can go to the different testing type as well. Similarly, you can segregate the test cases with the help of the application, right? There might be 10 applications, so couple of test cases might cover 2 or 3 applications, and remaining maybe one like that. So it is not always recommended to execute all the test cases again and again and again. Instead of that, you will be running the test cases based on a requirement type. In case you are having some build, right? So you need to only run the smoke suit. In case you want to validate the integration of particular application, so you will be filtering out the test cases based on the application type. So that is the way, right? You will be running those test cases as and when required based on the group. Okay. So group in TestNG denotes the process of grouping different tests or test method or test cases together into a straightforward group and running those test or method together by just running the group in a single command through these test or method are belonging to different classes. So that you can create n number of packages, you can have n number of classes, and you need to define the group only one time activity after test case development is done, right, in the test within the @test annotations. So grouping test is another very good feature of TestNG, using which user can create group of test method. User can create a group of test method based on the functionality and the features, or based on the module, or based on the testing type like functional, regression, smoke, UAT, end-to-end, etc. This way, user can differentiate specific group test methods from all test methods. Group are specified in the testng.xml file and can be either under the or tag. Group specified in the tag apply to all tags underneath. So first what you need to do, you can create couple of test cases. So definitely add the test annotations mean the test cases. So here you could see I have created a class which is TestNG class. This is the class TestNG session 9, and I have created couple of test cases. So forget about the group for now. So now you could see there are 4 test cases created: method 1, method 2, method 3, method 4. So it is giving output for method 1, output for giving method 2, 3, 4, like that. And after that, at the this annotation, I have added the group. So how you need to edit the group? You need to give first bracket, then groups equal to, then whatever group name you want to add, you need to give it within the double quote and second bracket. So in case you want to create one more group, suppose say that group you want to add it, right? So that is the way one test cases can be covered in multiple group. Okay. So here I have used one assertion point. So to let you know that in case test case is failing because of the assertion, test case will be failed. So that is the way, right? You can create multiple test cases, and every test case can be associated to n number of group. So groups equal to, within the double quote you need to give the, sorry, within the double bracket you need to give the group name within the double quote and comma in case you are having multiple group. So similar way. Now if you try to run it from here, right, TestNG class, there will be no impact. There will be no impact of the group. All the test case will be executed because group only be understood by the TestNG.xml file, but not from the class level. So you could see 4 test cases got executed, and you could see output for method 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the output from each and every test cases. And you could see all the test cases getting passed, method 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And if you go to the next tab, you could see, right, method 1, 2, 3, 4 is coming here. This is the default suite name in case you are running from the test class level, and default test name. This is nothing but the package dot the class name, and this is the method name 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Now how I can associate the group? So you need to go to the test.xml file, and after the test you need to add that tag. So I already mentioned it here, right? How you need to add it: groups, run, include name group, and you need to enclose to run enclose group. So that is the way. Now say I want to run only the smoke test. So wherever smoke test group is available, those test cases will be filtered out fast. After that it will be executed, because I don't want to execute everything. My intention is to run first, filter out the test cases based on the group. So first, so smoke test here, how many test cases there? 2 test cases there. For the next, sorry, third test case it is not there, and fourth test cases it is there. So 1, 2, and 3. These are the 3 test cases it will be executed. So out of 4, method 3 will not be filtered out because group was mock test group is not available. So now if you try to run it from the test.xml file, you could able to see the option called TestNG suite, and now it will first filter out based on the smoke suite, and then it will execute. You could see now method 1, 2, and 4 executed. So it will discard wherever that group is not matching. It will ignore that test cases, and it will not consider at all. That is the reason it is showing 3 out of 3 test cases. Now say in case I am removing that one also. So now what will happen? It will only filter 2 test cases. That is the method 2, and this is the method 4. So now if you again run it, you could able to see now it will be running 2 test cases, and 2 will be passed because there is no assertion failure. Now in case you are failing 1 test cases, you could be able to see out of 2 test cases, 1 test case will be passed, 1 test case will be failed based on the group. So that is the way, right, you can include the group. And now say, suppose say in case you are having 100 test cases, out of which you are having 30 test cases for end-to-end, remaining is mock, sanity, UAT, integration, like that. So your objective is not to filter out the remaining part. Your objective is you want to run everything excluding the end-to-end. So what we can do? So if you include that one, it will only filter out those test cases where that is present. But if you use exclude, so what it will do? It will filter out. It will first remove those test cases from the filter wherever smoke test is present, and remaining test case it will execute because I am excluding that group. So wherever smoke test is present, those test cases will not be considered. A remaining one, wherever that tag is not available, remaining one will be executed. You could see how easily I can do it, excluding tag, right? So that is the exclude tag. Then in case you want to include multiple tag also, right, multiple condition, you can also give it. So I want to include the smoke. Apart from that also I want to include right, one more thing, right, maybe a regression, okay, or maybe integration. So smoke that method 2 and method 4 is also there, but with the help of the integration, right, only method 3 is there. So with the help of 2 tag I can execute more test cases, 3 test cases now. So that is the way you can do it. That is called and tag, right? And means multiple, sorry, yeah, or either any thing is present there, you can do it. And you can also here you can exclude also. So multiple include and exclude you can do it. That is the way in case you want to include 3 tags, so that anything is present that will be executed. That is how you can give it, do one by one. So that is the part already mentioned here also, okay. In case user want to run multiple groups at the same time, they need to add another include tag inside the run. User can mention the group name which they do not want to run inside using the exclude tag. And next is that, suppose say you are having so many test cases, say based on the application name, right? You could see here test application 1, test application 2, test application 3, like that. But your objective is to run any test cases where test app word is present, right? Instead of giving all the name, I want to run everything where that part is only present. So that is also possible. So how can you do it? You can include, and here you can give the thing called that test app word, okay. And after that remaining area, what you can do, you can press dot and star, dot and star. So sorry, dot and star, dot and star. So dot star means anything after that word will be considered included here, right? So now let's try to run. So 3 test cases will be executed here, test application 1, 2 and 3, because I want to filter out with the help of the test app. So wherever test app word is present, it will execute. Here this test case is method 1, method 2 and method 3, because everything is present. For the method 4, no test app is what you could see, the 3 test cases executed. Now if you want to exclude, right, you don't want to include anything wherever the test app word is present. So it will execute only one test case, because for the test case number 4, there is no test app word is available, right? So if you just try to run it here, so what will happen, it will just try to execute it, that test case method 4. So that is the way you can deal with the group. So group is nothing but you can segregate the test cases based on the functionality, based on the testing type, based on the other aspect. After that, right, you need to add the group, and then from the test general XML file you can include the group. You can create more lot of condition, right, including right, excluding as well. After that, in case you want to run anything with some certain word, you can give that word, then star, dot and star. So that is the way you can deal with the group. So instead of running all the test cases at the same time, you can filter out your testing or the test cases or the test script, and definitely based on the filter out, it will be executed and it will be giving you result. So now, so TestNG is having some sort of default result. So now I already, based on the group, only test method 4 is executed, right? So how can you get the result? So you need to select the project, you need to right click here, you need to click on the refresh button. Automatically test dot output folder will be created or replaced every time, and you could see there is an option called emailable report.html. If you right click, if you open with web browser, right, it will open it. You could see one test case is run. What is the test case is run? Method 4 run, right? You could see excluded group, that part is already there, and in case you are including something, it will be included group. Now let's come close it out and again change it to include group, and let's try to run it. So tag is also, that group tag is also added to the report. Now it's got executed 3 test cases. Now if you just refresh your project, or if you can click on the any folder, you can refresh it, right? There is a options emailable report.html. I already show you how to open with like that web browser. Otherwise you can go to the properties and you can take the path here. There is option, right, path. Take take the complete path, open any open any browser right here, and just go here. You could see here. Now this is the test name, This is the suit name, because now suit name and test name is driving from here. This is the suit name I already given. This is the test name I already given. Okay, and this is the test case is coming. So total pass 2, failed 1, and you could see here included group test.app ap.start. Total time is 58 millisecond. One test case is failed. Why it is failed? You could see here this is failed because of the assertion failure. Because I am expecting 11 but found as 10. Other method 2 and 3 is got passed. So that is the result is coming on the pass. Package name dot the class name, then the method name and reason of failure, it will also come here. So that is the way TestNG is giving some sort of default reporting mechanism, right? You can also use that one, but definitely you should not always rely on the TestNG. But there is other report like extend report, Alio report, report ng. These are the other report you can rely, and definitely that those will be generating beautiful reports. So I'll be covering in the upcoming session how to deal with the extend report and how to generate beautiful report. So that report will be shared to the respective stakeholder. It will be having all the granular details along with some pie chart like that. Okay. So that is the way you can deal with the grouping of the TestNG. I will take a pause, guys. Any questions? Any doubt? Mm-hmm. 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 Uh-huh. Yeah, it will depend, right? Whenever some build is coming, generally we should run the smoke or sanity for the new build. Okay, and the sanity, once the sanity is passed, right, then so build means sometime it is minor also, right? So that you need to certify that at least basic functionality is working. But in case the build is major build, right, maybe multiple functionality is changing or sometime new more defect is coming, definitely you should first you can go with the regression suite. But it is very minor changes. Definitely is not always recommended to run the regression, right? The basic smoke or sanity or the end-to-end build lifecycle validation should also work fine, should be fine for that. But it will depend based on the requirement. In case more changes is there, definitely you should certify that it is not breaking the existing functionality, so you can go with the regression suite. Right. Yes. Yes. So in the real time, sometimes say one critical defect was there. Okay. Say I'm just giving an example. So some hot fixes is required because it is impacting lot. Why? Because it is blocking other thing. So only for one defect is not recommended to run the regression suite. Instead of that, you can go with that one end-to-end flow or the couple of basic flow, right? So with the smoke test will cover that one, or the sanity or the BV suite or the build value suite will cover. But in case say your 10 defect is coming, maybe 2 new features got added, definitely you should certify that your main basic complete functionality, the regression suite is working fine or not, it is not impacting the other. So that is the way you can just derive that one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that will be covered in the upcoming one. So you already see that reliable report from the report ng, sorry, test ng, which is the default report is coming from the test ng. But yeah, still we will try to modify those report and we will try to generate beautiful report with the help of extend report. That will be covered in the upcoming session. How to generate beautiful report with the help of extend report. So that report you can share with the respective stakeholder. Yeah, there is no end of reporting, right? There are a lot of report, right? Sometimes organization is having their own report, right? And definitely they will be having some sort of code they are implementing. Sometimes some of the reporting, right? You can some of the reporting already code is available with paid service because they are having the air code. Just you need to add the code, but that for that you need to buy the license with payment because they already developed that coding structure which will give you the complete report. But in case your project is not supporting that part, right, you should go with the report whatever is available as the open source in the market. Yeah. Then the next one, how to execute only failed test cases in TestNG without listener class. So here you could see here, in case you want to run it from the test app, right, what it will do, it will run 3 test cases, because based on the filter out, right, based on the filter of the group. But here one test case is failed. So here only 3 test cases there, and it is taking very less time. That is the reason it is not troubling you. But in case you are having say 100 test cases, and in case 10 test cases getting failed, right, you are not able to understand why it is failure, and again if you run it, so again 100 test cases will be run, and that will be just wasting the time, because you don't want to run the past test cases for that time. Maybe again definitely after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, in case some code changes is there, you can run your regression suit, but not that reason because of the failure. So what you can do, in case you are running it from again and again and again from here or here, it will run all the test cases from that suit. So but my intention is to run only the failure test case. So what you need to do, you will refresh the project, and in the test.output folder there will be options called testng-fail.xml, right, that is the options will be there. Okay, so most of the time test cases may fail while executing automated test script. The reason may be anything. Sometimes there is a network issue, sometimes your internet connectivity gone, sometimes element was not found for that time because of the page load issue, sometimes timeout exception, system issue, or the browser issue, like that, right? So these are the different kind of problem might coming. So that is the reason a test script may couple of test cases may fail, but no, those are not maybe the actual failure. Means so those are not because of defect, because your internal connectivity gone. So that is not a defect. You want to interact with some file, but that file is open, so you are not able to update the file. Right? Your page is not loaded within a minute or 30 seconds, whatever page load timeout you've given, but that is not working. So that is not a problem actual. Sometimes the page might take because of the internet speed like 1 minute. So these are the false failure. So what you need to do, you need to identify those test cases. You need to, in case you want to run them only the failure part, then how can you do it? Okay. So instead of running all the test script again and again, user can execute only the failed test case again for any number of time, and you can check the updated result. So that is the way you can definitely save the time. Because in case you are having 500 test cases, only 5 test cases got failed. In case you are running it again from the testng.xml file, it will run all the 500 again. So definitely it will take maybe 1 or 2 days. But that you don't need, no need to invest that time. My objective is to find out the failed test case, need to analyze the report, or need to run them couple of number of time, only the failure test case. So that is the way you can save the time. So you need to go to the output folder here, right, and there's an option available called testng-fail.xml. If you double click here, you could able to see only the failed test case, right? This is the class, this is the group name, and what test case it is failing, it is only having that method 1. You could see here, this is the method 1 got failed because of the assertion failure. Now if you try to run it from the testng-fail.xml with the help of testng test, it will only run the failed test case. It will not run the past test case. You could able to see the differences. Here if you want to run it, it will run all the time all the test cases. It does not matter what test case passed or failed. But if you refresh the project and you go to the testng-fail.xml file, it will refresh every time only the failed test case. In case suppose the 5 test case was there for the initial time, if you run them again, after that 2 test case got passed, 3 test case only fail. So if you refresh them, only 3 test case you could able to see. And if you run it from here, only the failed test case will be running, and you can definitely get easily analysis part. That is the test case only failed, and you can update your code in case required. Otherwise, in case of real failure, you can definitely log a defect accordingly. So that is the way you can run the failed test cases without listener. Apart from that, I will show you how you can run the failed test cases, right, n number of time with the help of listener as well. So that part will be covered here upcoming session, upcoming topics. Then next one will be covered, which is called TestNG parameterization. So in the TestNG first session I told, there is 2 important concept of TestNG. One is parameterization and one is data driven testing. So data driven testing means single test cases I want to run it for n number of times with different variety of the data. That is called data driven approach. Same test cases I want to run with different variety of the data with n number of times. My test case will be 1, but I will varying it with 10, 20, 30 different variety of the data. So that is called data-driven approach. But parameterization means I can have n number of test cases where my parameter is constant in nature. Means suppose say you need to write operate with a parameter, you need to perform different operation like subtraction, right, addition, multiplication, division, like that. But your parameter value is, or your parameter is only 2 parameter. So means with the same parameter value you can run multiple tests. That is called parameterization. So one of the important feature of TestNG is parameterization. This feature allows user to pass parameter to test as argument. This is supported by using the TestNG @parameter annotation. The @parameter annotations can be used for any of the before, after test annotation method. It can be used to initialize variable and use them in a class, test, or maybe for the whole test execution. In case user need to pass some simple values such as string type to the test method at runtime, user can use this approach for sending parameter values through the XML configuration files, right? So that is the way you can write your test cases, right? Method first, then you can provide the parameter after test annotation. Then you need to go to the testng.xml file, and you can, after the test or after the shoot, you can use the parameter. Okay, let's see first how we can implement the parameterization, right, in the real world. Okay, so I'll go here, Eclipse. Let's try to kind of block comment. So @test. So I can create a method, simple method, public void addition. Okay, and here I can pass two parameters, integer a comma integer b. This is the argument I can pass. So what I'll do, I'll simply print SYSO a plus b. That is a simple method I have created. Okay, now I can create two methods, say instead of subtraction, right? Similar way it will be just a minus b. I can create one method called multiplication, so it will be a star b. So that is the way I have created three methods. So say my value will be always same, right? A and b value. A might be 10 and b may be 5. So then how I will define? So I will define it one time, but I will be using them n number of times in n number of method. So what you need to do, you need to use @parameter. Before or after test you can use @parameter. It is coming from org.testng.annotation. Remember here, similar way you need to give bracket here, and within the double bracket you can maybe add the parameter. So it is integer a, so I can map with, like, say param1, right? And similarly for the other one I can go with param2. So that way it will match, and I need to end with that bracket here. Okay, so it is done. So a will map with param1, b will map with param2. Okay, similar way I can go with similar way for all the test cases I need to map it. It does not matter whether you are going before parameter or after, sorry, before test or after test. It will map here. So param1 will map here, param2 will map here. In case you are having 3 argument, you can create 3 parameter, 4 parameter, like that, based on that. So that part is done now, right? I already created the methods, and I already defined the parameter. Then now my question will come, this is a parameter, not the kind of value. Then I need to associate some value based on the parameter type. It can be integer, double, float, string, anything. So I need to go to the testng.xml file here, right? I can remove that part for now, otherwise it will create a lot of trouble. Okay, and then after the shoot or after the test you can use any you can give the parameter. So just you need to use that syntax, parameter name and the value within the double quote. So I will copy that one. Let's copy it. Okay, and here after the test I can do it. So what I need to do, I need to change the parameter name. What is the parameter name I have given? Param1. So I will give that one param1, and this is param2, and I can give the value. So parameter 1 is 20. So though it is numeric or integer, you need to give within the double bracket. That is the way you need to define the parameter value. So parameter value, it will always driven from the testng.xml file. So you are defining that parameter only one time and the value also one time, and that parameter you will be using in n number of test cases. So that is the called parameterization. Now you need to execute only from the testng.xml file. In case you are running from testng class, it will not work because you are driving the value from the testng.xml file. Now if you run your test case, you could see these three test cases got run, and this is the result. First one addition, and it will depend based on the alphanumeric value, right? Then your second test case is your subtraction, but s will be come after multiplication. So that is there's a multiplication, and then subtraction is coming last. If you go here, three test case first. If you go here, you could able to see, right? This is the suit name driving from the testng.xml file. This is the test name, and this is the class name, package name dot the class name, and you could see your method is being executed based on the alphabetical order because you did not use any priority. So now you could be able to see the parameter 10 and 20 equal to addition equal to 30, multiplication 10 and multiplied by 10, 20 multiplied by 10 equal to 200, subtraction 20 minus 10 equal to 10. So that is the reason result is showing 30, 200 and 10. So that is the beautiful thing you can do it. Now say next thing, I can create one more method now. Okay, so addition 3 parameter. Okay, addition with 3 parameter. So what I can do, I can give like integer c, and here I can do simply a plus b plus c. So that is why you can write a method. Now you could see there is a 2 parameter, but here there is a 3 argument, so it will not work. So you can add either a new parameter, or maybe the other parameter may be mapped with that one. So you can add one more parameter. So maybe that value will come from the param 2 only. So you need to map with that here. So now param 1 will map with A, param 2 will map with B, and again param 2 will map with C. In case you want to create a new parameter, you can create call 3, right? And here you need to add it. In case it is a new parameter, it is not there, you need to add it here. You can give any value called 100. Now if you again run it, so now you'll be having 4 method, and it will be driving based on the 3 parameter. You could see here total 4 executed, 4 run, and if you just give here, right, addition 20 plus 10 equal to 30. Now 20 plus 10 plus 100 equal to 130, right? Next one is 130. First 30, 130, 210. So that is the way you can use the parameter. Now if you refresh your project, and if you just open it from here, you could able to see the details here also, right? Total number, right? Addition, this is the C parameter, right? You could see able to see the parameter part, parameter 2, 3, right? So that is the way you are, whatever you are driving from the test.xml file, you could able to see all the details in the report, TestNG default report as well. Okay, now next thing, say you are having, somehow you have, right, kept your parameter at the test level, and instead of test level you can give it at the should level. So there will be no impact at all. It will be giving you the same result. Okay, you could see first one is 30, then 130, like that. So it will giving you the same result. Okay, it is not having any change. But in case your parameter is there in both the level, test level as well as should level, but value is different. So give it 200, like 100, and here 50, like that. So what will take the precedence? Which thing will be driving? So it will driving based on the test level. So in case test level is not there, it will drive from the should level. But in case both the parameters available from both the level, so your should level will be discarded. Your test level will taking the advantage. So now if you run it, now it will run based on the test level setting. You could see, right? 200 plus 100 equal 300, 350, and it is coming as 200 multiplied by 100 equal to 20,000, and 200 minus 100 equal to 100. It is not taking that one. It is driving by the test level part. So that is the part I also mentioned in my PPT, right? User can declare the variable at the should level and test level both. However, TestNG give preference to the parameter defined at the test level over the parameter set at the should level. Okay, I will take a pause, guys. So any question from this above two topic, how to execute only failed test cases, or how to drive with the parameterized testing using TestNG? Is it clear? Okay, cool, thanks. So this is very critical in the real time framework, right? You need to implement. So in case you are able to learning, right, it will be very helpful for you. So that is the reason, right? Today is the 9th session, remaining 3 sessions will be very critical, guys. Please try to not miss anything, because this is the complete framework part. You will be able to learn how to develop the thing from the scratch, right? Okay, the next part I already covering, right? What is called data providing test, data provided testing, or data driven testing, right? So TestNG is having option called add the data provider, through which you can perform the data driven testing. So data driven testing is nothing but same test case, right? You can try to run it again and again and again with different variety of the data. So today I will cover it from the TestNG itself, but next session I will try to implement the same data driven testing, where I will be reading the data from the Excel sheet. So definitely, in case you want to read the data from the Excel sheet, you need to take help from the Apache PY jar file, where lot of important methods will be there to deal with the Excel sheet. But today, no need to worry. You will be just trying to hard code everything, and you will try to drive the testing based on the different combination of the data, and same test case will be executed. So in most of the situation, user need to run scenario with different sets of data. During that time, it is not possible to write test case for each set of data, because you need to copy it, right, again and again and again and again and again. So in case it is 20 time, you need to copy 20 time. But problem, what is the problem will happen? In case one step is changed, maybe tomorrow once attribute got changed, maybe one new field came, so you need to update everywhere. But I don't want to do that. So that is the reason, always go with the reusable component, reusable method. Go with the data driven approach. In case you need to just change, it will be changed only one time. And during the data driven approach, your code and your data will be kept different entity. So it will not having any relation will be there, but in case you want to update the code, you will be updating the code only. In case you want to update the test data, you will be going to the Excel sheet, you will be updating the test data only. Okay, so to run at the rate test multiple times with different input, user can use data provider options present in TestNG. A data provider annotate method always returns an array of object. It can be any dimensional. Number of rows present in the array will be the number of iteration, on how many number of time you want to execute that test case, and number of columns mean how many number of element you want to interact, or number of argument you want to interact. You want to just drive the variation using at the rate test. Okay, so first I will show you very simple thing. Let's comment out these test cases. Very simple way I will try to cover, so that you can able to understand. So this is the class. So this is the code I am copying. Okay, so system dot set property. Okay, not in the uh, 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 So I'll be copying my code. Okay, it should be within the @test annotation. That is the reason it's not working. So I need to create a method here first. So I'll be creating a okay. Let's create a method first. @test. Okay. Say public void enter. So I want to say I want to enter username password field couple of number of times. So I'll be opening the Facebook page, I'll be identifying the email field, I'll be identifying the password field, and I'll be entering the value n number of times. Enter user name and password. That is my test cases and that is my body, right? So I want to copy this line of code here, whatever we have developed at the session 7. So I'll replace the URL. Instead of Google, it will be Facebook URL. So remaining line, no worry. Maybe you can give wait time as 20 seconds. So this is the way I'm setting the properties for the Chrome driver. I'm creating object or instance for the WebDriver, or maybe I can define the WebDriver global level, right? That's fine, no worry. Chrome driver, maximizing it, I'm giving some timeout 20 seconds. I'm deleting all the cookies and then I am trying to launch the page. Then I want to identify that field, right? Let's press F12 button, email and password field. I want to enter some value. So ID equal to email. So driver dot find element by dot ID. What is the ID? Email. And you can use dot send key, anything hard coded thing, right? Say Haradhan. Similarly for the password field, right? It will be pass. ID will be pass. So you can mouse it over. You could see that ID is pass. Say password is pass. 1 1 2 3. You can give it like 1 2 3 like that. Okay. Or give it like okay. So that is the one. So we are hard coding everything, right? But in case you want to run it for n number of times, so you need to copy the line of method n number of time and you need to change it, so you need to change everywhere. And I can also quit the driver. Okay. So it is working fine. Now say tomorrow you need to write required for 2 times, 3 times. So what you need to do, you need to copy the code here and you need to just create a one method called one, and here you can give 2 like that, right? So now if you run it, so it will run both the test cases. So with one combination, second one is other combination. But now say tomorrow, right, your one field got changed, one field got removed, one new field got added. So what you need to do? So you need to update all your test cases, right, here, one by one. But right, I don't want to do that. Instead of that, I will be having only one test cases, and I need to run that test cases with n number of variation. So how can I do it? So I need to take help from the data provider. So what I will do first, I will be creating a data provider. Sorry, here it will be @data provider. I'll be take help from the TestNG data provider. @data provider for data driven testing. So you need to import it from the TestNG dot. Okay, that's fine. data provider, and here you need to create a method. Say public. Right, I am not giving a return type now. Method name is get user and password, like that method. And that is the method name. Here I can go with that one. Now I need to import that data provider, which will coming from the TestNG, org.testng.annotations. Here what I'll do, I'll be creating an object. Okay, so what object I'll be creating, I need to create the object which will be an array, right? I already mentioned here, right? The data provider annotated method will return always an array of object. It can be any dimensional. Here I will try to create two dimensional. So row will be number of iteration, how many number of time you want to execute, and column will be the number of elements I want to interact or number of argument. Here it is 2. But in case you have 3, right? Email, password, and maybe the other username, like that, you can have 3 field like that. So that will not be a big deal. So object two dimensional. So that is the two dimensional object, and I can create a variable name called data. One second. That is the variable name equal to new object, and it will be enclosed with colon. So number of row will be iteration, that is the row. So I want to iterate for 3 times, and column will be your variable or the kind of argument or the field you want to interact. So that is done. Then you need to add the data, right, for say iteration 1. So what you need to do, you need to take the variable data. You need to give, so row will start with, always it will start with n minus 1. So row will start 3 row means row, sorry, it will start 0 1 and 2, row 0 and column 0 means iteration 1 and then field 1, and you can give any value, right? So what is the value you want to keep, like that, Haradhan 1. So for that first iteration, that value I want to enter. Okay, then for the second field I want to enter the password. So that is my row will be always 1 0 and column will be 1, because that is my column is my argument or the number of element I want to interact, and row is the number of iteration. So that is the iteration 1. Similar way I can create the data for second and third iteration. So your row number you will change 0 to 1 for iteration 2, and here column number will be same, only same fashion. So say Haradhan 2 and password 2. And now iteration 3. So row will be changing to n minus 1, like 2 minus 3 minus 1 equal to 2 for the last iteration, and you can change the value called say Haradhan 3 and password 3. Now it is done, and then you need to return the data, because that data you want to import it. So you need to use a return data variable. So now what you are returning? You are returning data. So what is data? So that variable data is nothing but the object, two dimensional object. So that part you need to return in the method as well. Now you could see a message gone. So I am creating a method get user and pass. This I am creating object, two dimensional object, where your row is nothing but the number of iteration and column is nothing but the number of variable or number of argument you want to pass. So again it will go n minus 1, m minus 1, m is the row, n is the column. So data 0 0 means first iteration, first value, first field. Data 0 1 means first iteration, second value, second field. Here second iteration, first field, second iteration, second field, third iteration, first field, third iteration, second field. Returning data. What is data? Data is nothing but the object types. Now it is done. Then I need to map the data provider in my test cases. So how can I map it? Next question. So you need to give some packet. You need to use data provider. You can press control space. Here you can see it's coming data provider. Here you need to give the exact name of the method whatever you have created here. So I'll be giving it exactly. So that is the annotation you need to use. So that part is done. Now it is done. Still it will be working? No, because you are hard coding the value here, right? So instead of hard coding here, we can pass some argument. So say what is the type? String type. So string uname and string password. Now you need to map that one here, so that it will take value n number of time here based on the data provider. Now, so now it will map. So this is the way you need to sync, and this is the password, so it will map with the password. Now two parameters will map. Now if you want to run it, you could able to see, so your script is only one, right? But it will try to run based on three different settings, three different number of iterations with different value and combination. Now let's try to run. So same test case will run with three different combination of data. Means row will be number of iteration, column will be number of fields or number of argument you want to pass. So Haradhan 3 and password 3, that will be the last one. Now you could see same test case got run 3 times here. Okay, you could see here 3 times pass, same test case. What is the combination? Haradhan 1 password 1, Haradhan 2 password 3 2, Haradhan 3 password 3. Now if you go also here, you could able to see same test case run with different variation or combination. Now tomorrow I want to add one more combination. Instead of 3 times, I want to run for 4 times. So what you need to do? You need to simply change it to row equal to 4, and you need to add one more data, which will be iteration 4. So that is the beauty. I am not touching my code at all. I am just updating my data provider part. Iteration 4. So your row will be 3, and here also row will be 3, and you can change the variation. So that is the way. Data driven approach will be always helpful. So you can run one test case with n number of times with varying the data. Right now, if you run your test case, it will run for 4 times. But same test case, so you did not touch my code. And tomorrow, in case you are having 3 different field you need to interact, so you need to change the number of columns accordingly, and you need to pass the number of arguments also accordingly. So that is the way you can go with the data driven approach in using TestNG. Now you could see your 4 test cases got run. So one test case got run with different 4 different combination of data. It is driving from the data provider part. So what you need to do? First you need to create a data provider, right? So your row and column, row will be number of iteration, column will be number of field or number of argument you want to interact. It will be object. You need to create a matrix, right, based on the number of dimension you are using. You need to add the data into the data provider part. After that, write whatever method you are writing, you need to map with in the test at the test annotation, and then whatever field you want to interact, instead of hard coding the value, you need to provide as a argument, and that argument you need to just enter here, not hard coded value. So that is the way you can do the data driven testing. Means same test case you can execute n number of time from the different using different variety of the data. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that you can change any variable. I can change it to username. So that is like anything. That will not be a big deal. Okay. So first you'll be writing your test cases, right? First you'll be writing your test cases. So in case you are having 3 field, right? So suppose 3 field. So what you need to do? You need to add 3 column here. And number of iterations you can change during your runtime. Suppose say in case you want to run for 5 times, 6 times, 10 times, you can just need to change it. But in the next session, I will see you. It will not be hard coded. I will drive in the data from the Excel sheet. So that part I will not hard coded it. Only that part hard code. Slowly I will not hard code any of them. Right? Slowly you will be able to understand that nothing will be hard coded, but I will try to drive the data from the Excel sheet instead of writing here detail, because Excel I can write it easily, right? In the next session you could able to see that same code I will be implementing with the help of the Excel sheet. So now that is the variable name. This is the argument is the variable name. You can give it by your choice, and so that variable you need to map it here. Now if you again running your code, so it will running same way. There will no impact. So you can give anything, because variable name you can give it, but that variable name you need to map with here as part of your argument. Yeah. Yeah, so the row will be a number of iterations. So in case you want to run for 5 times, so definitely you need to give the data accordingly, and your column will be number of fields. So you already know, right, how many number of fields you want to interact. So here I already mentioned. Yeah. So you are having, yes, yes. Hmm. 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 Yeah. Yeah. So suppose say tomorrow you are having 3 field here. Say I'm just giving example. So you need to add one more parameter. So that part you need to manually do it. There is no other way. Yes. Hmm. Yeah, that is the variable method name I have given. So that method I am mapping it here. That will be exactly same because I am calling from the data provider. Yes, that will be the exactly same here. So whatever name you can give ABC, also it will be ABC like that. Similarly, herever wherever where you are giving the argument name, so that argument name also you need to match. But that value will come from the data provider. Ah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. You can carry on. Hmm. 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 That is the part you can take help from the Excel part, right? Because in Excel there's a lot of methods available. If you use something called use random, it will create the random number. Okay. Yeah. And also like Java, also the method is there, right? Called random. Math class is there. You can use that math random, all this part. So that's slowly, yeah. Whatever that is the reason Java coding will be required, right? Whatever is available, math class dot rand, right? All this part is there. There are a lot of things you can create the random number. Hmm. Yeah, sure. Any other question, guys? Because that is very, very critical, right? Because that data driven approach, whenever you will be doing the data driven testing only, same thing will be implementing using Excel only. So that is the reason slowly you will be able to understand. In case I am covering data driven keyword have been at the day one, right? You will not able to understand. But I am trying to cover in a way that it will you are able to correlate or able to link the thing, and so that you will never forget, right? The once you are clear with the approach, code is different way, right? But first you need to understand the approach. Once you are clear with the approach, then you can definitely tweak the code. That not be a big deal. You are having 10 field, you can also add the same thing in the code itself. So 5 field, 10 field is not be a problem. First thing is that you need to understand the approach, how it is working. That is the very, very important thing. Then instead of one page, you can do the coding for 10 page. It does not have any problem. But the understanding is the how we'll be starting with the framework from the scratch slowly. Then one page is done, 10 pages is done. That does not have any problem at all. Is it clear, guys? Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we'll take it. Okay, no worry. Any questions, I'll definitely take it. Then the listener. So, what is listener? Listen, right? The word called listener means listen, to listen first. So sometimes user wish to modify the behavior of TestNG during script development, and this can be done by interface. So what is interface? You already know, right? You already covered in the Java. So whatever is covered in the Java, most of the thing you will be using in our right next couple of sessions, especially for the framework area. So interface is nothing but kind of 100% abstract method. So what we will do, whenever in case you are implementing, any class is implemented to the interface, all the unimplemented method you need to implement it, right? So these interfaces which helps the user to do so are known as listener. As the name suggests, listener primary task is to listen to an event, define and react according to that. The main purpose for which listener are used by the programmer is to create logs and create the custom report according to the specific scenario defined. A TestNG listener always extends org.testng.it iTestNG listener and TestNG provides the below listener type. I execution listener, I annotation transformer, I shoot listener, I test listeners, I configuration listeners, I method interceptor, invoke method listeners, I hookable reporter. But primarily we will be using I shoot and I test listener. So each listener has specific method that are overridden. Most popular listener are the methods and the method which are overridden are mentioned below. I test listener and I should listener. I should listener only having two method on start and on finish, whereas I test listener will be couple of method like on start or on finish means it will only one time, right? Whenever test case start and test case getting finished, right? Sorry, your test class or maybe the complete suit is getting started. But on test start, failure, skip, success, it will depend based on your execution status. Every time in case your test case is started, it will on state start will execute. But failure, only test case is failure that will be executed. Right? Skipped, only whenever test case is skipped will be executed. On test success, only test cases, only your test case is passed, those will be executed. So that is the way your listener will work. So how we'll try to implement the iTest listener here. So there are two important way we can use that listener. One is the two-way, right? The two-way I will show you one by one. So first thing is that, right, you need to create a class and you need to create couple of test cases. Okay, let's comment it out. So this is my reference test cases. Okay, so this is my test cases 1. So it is getting passed. Test case 2 is getting failed because SRSR is not matching, and test case 3 is depend on test 2, so it is failing, so it will be skipped here, and test case 4 it is also failing. So that is my test cases, 2 4 test cases. If you run it from here, you could able to see one test case pass, 2 fail, and 1 skip, because test case 3 will be skipped because it depend on test 2, but it is getting failed, so that is the reason it will be skipped. You could see that is the way it is behaving, right? You can get to result all the details here. Test method passed, test 4 failed, test 3 skipped, and test 2 also will be failed. So that is the way, right? Passed, fail, and skipped. Now I want to, sometimes I want to, right, update my result based on the based on the test result, execution status. Then how can I do it? Okay. So what I'll do, I'll create a simple class here, the training package. I'll create a class called test listener. No need to select public static void main method. Okay. So what I'll be doing, because I need to implement the listener class, right? So what I need to do, I'll be implementing listener class. Okay. So implements, what is the listener class you need to implement here? I test listener. So I test listener will be having all the method on start, on finish, on everything. I test listener, exact name. Okay, now you could see error message is coming, so you need to implement all the unimplemented method. I need to import first and Control Shift O. Okay, so here method is not coming. So sometime as and when you implementing, method will automatically come. you can implement all the unimplemented methods. So it is not coming. So what I will do, I will just take the help from here. Okay. So 1 second. So what you need to do, there will be some sort of options. Try implement the cursor here. Yeah. Okay. Let's right click here. So that is the another options. Go to source, then you can click on override or implement method in case it is not coming. So sometime it should come generally in case any listener class having the method, right? Because any kind of interface will be having all implemented methods, so you can click here override or implement method. You could see this is the method, right? Whatever mentioned in the PPT. So in case it is not coming, sometime it's not come. That is the problem of the TestNG nowadays. Recently I observed. Okay. So generally I will show you in case you are implementing any interface, by default all the methods defined in that thing you need to implement it, otherwise it will not work. So here it is not importing, right? It is not coming here at all. Okay, so these are the different methods will be available here: on start, on finish, on test start, on test failure, like that. So that is the only option you can use it. Right click, go to the source, right click on implement or override the method. So you can select everything and you can just click on OK. Automatically you could see everything is getting coming, because after that you need to keep the body here, right? So I can remove this part. Okay, on test start means test cases level, on test failure means also test cases level. Failure on test, sorry, on test success means in case test case is solved, right? Succeed or pass. Failure means only failure. On test skip means in case your test case is got skipped, right? That is not much used though. And here it will be your okay, nowadays is also available fail timeout, you no need to implement it, that is no much used. And here it will be your should level, that is the reason you could see it is coming as I test context, right? Means it is your context level or the should level, not or the test case level. It will be executed only one time. So what you can do, you can here, so this is already implemented. Now I will be adding some details, so that part will be executed here. So on test start, right? So I want to make sure that on test cases, TestNG, mm, TestNG test method started, right? And I want to concatenate that result dot get name. So it will give you the test cases name in case of test case getting started. Similar way, right? It will be only whenever test case is passed. Similar way, it will be executed whenever test case is failed. So that is the reason I am changing it, right? Fail. Similar way on test failure. Similar way, it will be skipped whenever test case is getting skipped. So that you could able to see test method skip. How listener is getting executed based on the real time. You no need to identify whether test case is passed or failed. Based on the type, it will be relevant step, method or body will be executed. Here you can give something in the real time. So yeah, I am not adding this much not used, and here it will be at should level. So TestNG test should started, and you need to change the variable here. Similar way I will be adding it for text fail. finished. Okay, so that is the thing I have did it in the listener class. Now this is my test cases. So these two part is done. So there are two ways to implement listener class. One is you need to give @listeners package name dot listener class name dot class. Okay, where you need to give it? You need to give before the class level, so that all your test cases will be impacted from the class level. Here before the class level I will be using listeners, right? You could see this is coming from org.testng.annotations, and here you need to give the packet and you need to give the package name, which package listener class is coming. So what is the package name? Package name is training, right? Exactly, training is the package. Package name dot, what is the listener class? Test listener. Okay, that is the class coming from the package we have created, test listener, then dot class. So that is the only thing you need to implement. Now if you try to run the test cases from the testng.xml file, what will happen? It will execute 4 test cases. You could see 1 fast, 2 failure, 1 skip. Now you could see the result here. You could see it is driving based on the listeners. So your last 2 method will be executed at the suit level. So TestNG test suite started, it is executing fast, and TestNG test suite finished, it is executing last. It will be only one time activity because it is suite level activity. The next one, right, in case test case is passed, start, it will be executed. TestNG test method started for every method. You could see started, test 1 started. Then test 1 is getting passed, so that is the reason it is already calling that one, passed one on success. So that is the method part getting executed. Similarly, test 2 got fail, so it is calling on failure. So that is the reason you could see it is coming as fail. Test method 4 started, method 4 also failed, so it is calling the failure. And test method 3 got skipped, so it is, you can see that is coming skip part. So this is the skip method is being called, and that corresponding body is being executed. So that is the beauty of the listener class. So you can override, but it will take the advantage based on your execution statistics. So you need no need to worry about that. It will take based on the real time statistics of the your test cases. Now tomorrow say one test case is also passed, right? So say it is also passed. Test method 2 also I am passing it. Okay. So here you could see 1 passed, again 2 failed, 4 failed, and 3 skipped. Now here what we'll do, I am passing test method 1, I am passing method 2, so definitely test 3 also getting passed because it is previous one, and only one method failed. So it will able to see the change in the body. Based on the listener class, it will take the advantage. Now if you just execute, try to execute it, so 3 method passed and 1 failed. So you could able to see here 3 passed, 1 failure. So correspondingly your thing will be called. So you could see method 1 got passed based on the pass on success, it is calling. So methods 2 also get passed, it is calling that passed on success. Method 3 also got passed, so it is calling that. Method 3 failed, so it is calling that failure. So that is the way, based on your execution current statistics, listener class will be called and it will be executed accordingly. So that is the one way. You need to create the TestNG class where you can add n number of test cases. It can be passed, failed, skip, like anything. And you can create a listener class where you can add the method body for all the unimplemented method. Then you can associate it, right? Listener package name dot the listener class name dot class. That is the one way. Second way, first two step will be common. So you need to create the TestNG class, you need to create the listener class, and the next one I can drive it from the testng.xml file. So that is the part you can drive it. You need to, after the suit name, you need to give that tag listeners, listener class name. I need to enclose with the listener. So I'll copy that line. I will add it in after the suit name. So here you need to give the package name called training and listener class name, which class it is coming. That is the change you need to simply do it. Okay, otherwise no change. Save it and try to run it again. So it will behave in the same way. So either you can do it at the class level, or either you can implement it from the testng.xml file level. You could see now passed, test case method passed, 2 passed, 4 failure, 3 also passed. And here you could see the result. And in relevantly is your listener class body is getting executed. So you can write a number of code based on requirement, right? In case it is passed, in case it is failed, you can objective sometime may be different. So it will depend by your organization need based on your project requirement like that. But that is the way it will listen first, means it will listen the statistics of the execution, then relevant method will be called, right? Relevant method body will be called. So that is the beauty of the listener class. Okay. So next one is also listener class, IRetryAnalyzer. So in the previous topics you already see, right? In case of failure, right, how you can drive the thing. Okay. So let's remove that one for now. So now in case you are trying to run it, so right, it will fail only one test cases. Okay, and you already see right, in case of failure how to run the failed test cases. Okay, from that particular settings. Okay, TestNG.failed.xml, and you can run it only one time by doing that. But I want to run the failed test case n number of times, automated way, instead of manual intervention. So here you can need to open and run in like that. But sometime next time also internet connection problem is there. Okay, or sometime next time also because of the internet connection slow speed, it might take 45 seconds, but your timeout is given as 30 seconds. So your page is not fully loaded. Okay, so I can run for 5 times, so maybe within 5 times my internet connection speed got improved and maybe test case got passed. But here we are manually doing it, right? One time like that. But I want to automate that one. I want to run the failure part n number of times so that it will be automated. So what I need to do, the test method will be failed because of many reasons like uncertain behavior of the application network issue, etc. To overcome the false failure, right, user may need to re-execute the test cases or for the failure test cases. Okay, so when a test fail, the retry method gets called and the retry method will result in either true or false. In case user have a test method that is annotated with IRetryAnalyzer along with the test, so based on the result from the retry method, @test method decides whether it should retry or not. The retry result is in true, then the test method will try to re-execute the test method. In case it is a false, test method will not be re-executed. So retry receives a parameter for test result. This will contain whether the test is passed or not, and the test method name based on the increment of the counter. So I will first define the uh, counter, maybe initial counter maybe 0, 1, 2, 3, and maximum I want to run for 5 times. So based on that it will try for, right, until it is getting passed with the maximum try I can go it. So there is an IRetryAnalyzer interface is there. So maybe I will create a class here to implement that listener to execute my failure test cases in number of times instead of hard coded. So say retry execution, that is my class name, and I'm not selecting the public static void main. Okay, so what I'll be doing here, I need to implement that IRetryAnalyzer because this is the interface. Implements IRetry, RETRY, keep space enter, controls space and enter in case you are not familiar with that exact name. IRetryAnalyzer coming from the org.testng. You could see now error message is coming. You need to implement all the unimplemented method. That part was not there in the other test listener, right? I test listener, but that is an option in case it is not coming. And implemented method, so it is coming here. So it's already code is there. I will just copy paste the code. No need to change anything. Okay. I'll be letting you know what is this. You can just keep the body. override part is not required. Need to surround with one more bucket. So I am giving the condition current retry. I am starting from 0 and giving maximum retry as 5. Maybe I can start with 1. So it will start with 1, it will go for 5, means 5 number of times it will try to go. So that is my method, which is already coming from the IRetryAnalyzer. So I am just overriding the method. In my current try, less than maximum try 1, it will go, and in case return it is still getting test case is getting false, right, fail. So it will go for increment by 1 plus plus. Second time it is fail, it will go for third time. But in case test case is getting passed, it will not increment at all. Right? In case it is fall, it will not go to inner loop. So that is the thing. You can just copy paste that code. Now you can save your code. Right? Now if you want to run it, right, whether it will run your failure test cases 5 times 1 to 5, no, it will not run, because I created that retry analyzer interfaces method, but I did not added it to my class level. So how can I add it? So you need to go to the test cases. So retry analyzer will be only applicable in case test case is getting failed, but in case test case is getting passed, it will not execute n number of times. Only for failure it will affect. Okay, then how can you add it? You need to go to the test, and here you need to give called something called retry analyzer. Retry analyzer, yeah. And here you need to give the class name retry executions dot class. That is the only thing you need to do, so that automatically it will connect that, right, try to map to it that interface. Now similar way all the test cases you can do it. Okay, it will only affect only whenever test case is getting failed, but not for the pass. Now let's try to run it. You could see, right, total pass 3 for the failure. It's failed one time and it tries 4 times, but here there is no like it is taking only couple of seconds, that is it is doing fast. But in case it take like 1 minute time, it will take some time, and that time maybe in case your internet connectivity comes, right, it will pass the test cases. So once it is passed, it will not retry the other part. So until it is, and you could see it retries 4 times, mean total 5 times, 1 time failure and 4 time retry. And if you had changes it for 10 times, so it will be retry 10 times, 1 failure, 9 time retry. Just save it one time. So it will affect all your test case. You are updating your listener only one time, and that is affecting your all your code. That is the beauty of the listeners. You can run it again from the XML file as well. That not be a problem at all. You could see now retries for 9 time, fail 1 plus 9. So that is the reason 3 plus 10 equal to 13 time. It is showing you the result. Okay. So that is the concept of listeners, through which you can change the behavior of your execution. So it will driven based on your real-time statistics. You no need to tell listener class that this pass, fail, all this stuff. It will take it based on your real-time statistics. Okay. Any questions, guys? Yeah, little bit complicated. That is the reason I have tried to cover in all the way. Right? You need to understand thoroughly, and then you need to practice little bit. So practice is the only thing which will help you. And definitely all the thing code and will be sharing, and all the steps already mentioned here. You no need to worry. All the step is mentioned here. Okay. Anyone? Any doubt? Okay. Cool. So let's comment out this code. Then I will show you how to do the parallel testing, means using thread. Right? How you can do simultaneous testing. So I already covered the concept of thread in the Java, right? Advanced Java topic. So thread is the smallest unit, right, through which you will be running your execution. Okay. So through with the help of thread, you can do concurrent execution, means simultaneous. So I already I give an example. Suppose in case you are having a packet of sweets, right, where maybe 50 sweets is there, and you are the only person you want to eat the sweets, so you'll be eating one by one like that, and you have the capacity of 20 sweets you can eat per day. So what you can do, you can only eat 20 sweets that day, and next day again 20 sweets, and next day maybe 10 sweets. So it will take 3 days for you to eat 50 sweets. But I want to eat all the sweets in couple of minutes time. So instead of one person, I'll be giving you 5%. So that 5% will pick up 10 sweets, 5 sweets, after 5 like that. And couple of minutes, 10 minutes, maybe 50 sweets will be gone. So that is the way. I mean, multiple person will work at the same time. So similarly, the concept of thread is also doing the parallel execution, concurrent execution. That is called thread. That is the concept of parallelism. So parallelism or multi-threading in software terms is defined as the ability of the software, operating system, or the program to execute multiple parts or subcomponent of another program simultaneously. TestNG allows the test to run in parallel or multi-threaded mode. This means that based on the test suite configuration, different threads are started simultaneously and the test methods are executed in them. This gives us a lot of advantage over normal execution, mainly reduction in execution time and ability to verify a multi-threaded code. Parallel test execution is vastly used by the QA industry for functional automation testing. This feature helps QA to configure their tests to be executed easily in multiple browser or operating systems simultaneously. TestNG provides an auto-defined XML file where user can set the parallel attribute to method, test, or classes, and by using the concept of multi-threading of Java, one can set the number of thread count. So in case you want to execute using multiple thread, right, you can do the parallelism. So that is the structure. Suite name, you can give it parallel equal to method, and you need to give the thread count. So that is the change you need to do it. So you can do the parallelism method level, test level, class level, but primarily we will be doing the testing at the method level, so that all the methods will be executed parallelly. Now say I already commented out. Let's try to copy the code here. I already having the code for threaded parallelism. So no need to worry. This is the couple of test cases. Right, I can copy it. So this is the couple of test cases. Okay. So I want to do the testing using both the driver, right, Chrome driver or the Gcode driver. Okay, Firefox browser as well. So I need to import it. So I'm explaining it. So suppose this is my first test case I have written. So what is the first test case? I need to open the Facebook page. I need to enter some value, email, and password field. Right, I need to get the title. I need to quit that driver. So that is my first test case. Second test case, it is using Chrome driver, Chrome browser. Second test case, I want to open the Facebook page again. I want to just simply launch the page. I want to quit the driver using Chrome browser. Third test cases, I want to open the Google page using my Firefox browser. So that is the setting, right? I want to open the Google page. I'll be getting the title. I'll be closing the browser. That is my third test case. Fourth test cases, I want to open the ready page, right? I want to open the ready page, and I want to launch it in the Chrome browser. I want to get the title. So that is the thing. Now if you running the code, so what will happen? The test case will be running one by one. Fourth test case will run one by one. So that is the way, because I am not using any concept of parallelism. So it will run one by one based on the alphabetical order. So ready page is getting executed. It will close the driver. It will open go for the second test cases, and third, fourth, like that. So that is the way. It will take some time, right? It will consume the time. You could see Firefox browser is getting open. It is entering. It is success. So 4 success. There is no failure. But I want to run them parallelly. Might be you will not able to see the execution thoroughly, but it might take some less time. I want to do the parallel execution. So what you need to do, you need to go to the testng.xml file, and here you need to change the thing, right? Suite name. Okay, what you need to do, you need to change the suite name you already given. Here you need to give parallel equal to methods. So parallel equal to within the double quote, will be methods. Yeah, methods. And then you need to give thread count. Thread count equal to, say, I can keep it maybe 3. I want to do it in 3 thread. So you can give 3, 4, 5, 6 any thread based on your test cases thing. Okay. Now you could see here anything. So that is the change you need to do in the TestNG XML file. Now it is already driving my test cases, right, based on the classes name. Now you try to run it from the TestNG XML file. Now based on the changes, I am trying to use thread 3 and methodically parallel. You could see the difference now. It will launch the 3 test cases at the same time. That is the reason you might not able to see the execution. It is not by one, but it is 3 test cases. First 3 thread is trying to execute the 3 test cases. So you will not able to see maybe some of the execution. And once 3 is done, then remaining thread, whatever is free, to pick up the remaining test case, it will be executed. So that is the way, is called concept called multi-threading. So multiple threads will start working. Definitely in the real time you will be taking some advantage of the, you can save some time. But here sometimes page loaded, because of the page loaded, because of the network speed, it might vary. But always, right, in case you are having some time, you don't want to see the execution, right? Your objective is to execute the test cases only, right? Your objective is to do the parallel testing with the help of the multiple thread, right? You want to just get the desired result on the nightly basis. You want to just reduce the overall testing time window. You can use that concept called multi-threading. So it might is, it is very taking time, ready page, that is the reason it is taking that time. Otherwise couple of tests already executed, so until the page is fully loaded, right, it will not execute. So that is the another thing. Okay, it will be there, but that is the concept of the multi-threading. Instead of one by one, multiple thread will go, just like the switch example. Right, in case of one person, so only one by one switch you will be picking up one. But in case you are having 5%, so immediately 5% will pick up 5 switches, and then again as and when they are completing, they will pick up that job, right? So here thread also their job, like that way. So that is the way, right? It will be driven here. So you could, it is taking some time, but here you could see the details, right? Immediately, right? It is before execution complete is done, it is your the couple of test cases already executed here, right? You could see the Chrome diver started, Chrome diver started like that. So that is the way. Instead of that one, right, you could see before anything executing, Chrome diver started, 3 Chrome diver started. Okay, so that is the way it will try to execute your test cases. Here it is taking a lot of time, that is the reason it is not getting executed. So I can replace the ready page, so with Apple page maybe, or say again Facebook page also, so that it will take less time, because ready page is lot of things there. Okay, now let's try to run it here. Let's see what is the difference. You could see all the browser is opening simultaneously before waiting for the other. Okay, sometime you will not able to see the execution because it will be too fast, and after that immediately it is opening the other thread. Okay, you could see with how fast it got executed. Okay, here, so concurrent execution is the concept of multi-threading. Okay, that is the way you can definitely save your time, and you can do the parallel execution, where you need to change the methods, add the thing at the suit level called methods equal to parallel equal to methods and the thread count, because you no need to worry. In case you are typing something, automatically it will give you suggestion and you can implement that. So I'll just repeat it once again. After that, in case you are having any questions, like, I will take it there. So you already see what is group. So you can create the test cases first. After that, you can identify what test case will cover in which testing type, which testing phases, which application type. You can add the group, and then after that, in the test SQL file, you can add the changes of the group, right, with the annotations called group run. Then you can include exclude group. In case you want to run some sort of test case with the help of some word, you can also do it. And right, so that is the way you can include multiple combination as well for the including or excluding group. Then in case you are having some failure of the test cases, right, you can you want to run only the failed test case, so you can go to the output folder, right? There will be testng-fail.xml. You can run it, so that instead of running all the test cases, only failed test case can be run. Parameterization is nothing but in case you want to execute, right, couple of test cases with the same value, same parameter, you can do the concept of parameterization. So parameter value you can set at the should level, test level, but test level will be prioritized first. DataProvider is nothing but same test case you want to run it for n number of time with different variety of the data. You can go with the DataProvider concept. You can use the DataProvider from the TestNG, where you can create an object with different kind of array of object, right? It will be multi-dimensional array, where your row will be the number of iteration and column will be number of interaction with the field, right, or number of argument you want to pass. Listener is nothing, it will listen first, after that you will change the behavior of your execution. So there are a couple of listener, I test, I should listener, you can implement it. So you can create a class, TestNG class, after that you can create a listener class, you can implement the ITest listener, you can add the details for your all the unimplemented method, and then you can either you can add the rate listener package name dot the class name dot class listener class at the class level. Otherwise you can go with the testng.xml file, where you can change the details so that your listener class will be called. And in case you want to execute that failure test cases with automated way n number of times, you can also take help from the IRetryAnalyzer, through which you can give the the first condition and the number of way you want to iterate it, so that automatically only the failure test case will be executed n number of times. And in case it is false failure, right, because of the timeout issue, because of synchronization issue, because of network slowness, all this stuff, it might be executed next time, it can be passed. So you can automate the process of failure, only executing the failure test case n number of time. So in case you are just having 100 test cases, you want to run them one by one, you can do it. But in case you want to run them parallelly, right, you can go in the test.xml file, you can add the concept called like parallel equal to methods or test, like that. You can give the n number of thread. After that, automatically your test case will be trying to run parallelly, so that it will fasten the speed, and definitely you can save a lot of times. Okay guys, so that's all from today's session guys. Thank you.